Well, hello there. It's me. I'm back. Hi. It's it's been a while. It's been a while. How have you been? Things things are not going that well, are they? They're really not. We're in 2026 now. We're a couple of years into Trump's administration, and boy oh boy, it just didn't pan out, did it? It just didn't pan out. I remember making a video. I don't even know when that was at this point. But I made a video, this is probably what, a year and a half ago or something like that, about how we were not entering World War III and why we were not entering World War III. And the fact that ultimately we just, I mean, all of the signs were that it was kabuki theater, that Israel was sort of becoming aggressive and they were desperately trying to drag everybody into war, but it wasn't going to happen. And at the time, I stand by that video, by the way, that at the time, that's exactly what was going on. But now, we're at war. We're at war. And once again, it's not declared. Once again, nobody voted for it. And I just wanted to take a moment to talk about the implications of this in a way that nobody's really discussing. Because one of the things that bothers me so much about this war is that we don't have the bandwidth for it. The American people do not have the bandwidth for this. And what's interesting is I've been going around and just talking to people over the last. I started this in 2025. I know that sounds weird, but I mean like really talking to strangers, going out of my way to ask things of them. And the one thing that I've noticed over and over and over and over again is that we are all so strung out. We're done. We're cooked. It's over. We don't have the energy for anything anymore. Nothing. I don't. You don't. At this point, it's a wonder if we can get out of bed. I'm actually a little bit shocked that things are going as well as they are. Truly, truly. The power went out in my place the other day, and it came back on, and there was a part of me that was like, "How? How?" Because everybody you talk to is just done. They're done. We've been too stretched out for too long. And a lot of people, honestly, a lot of people are just choosing to just escape, right? I mean, it's just total escape. The, the I've done a couple of videos at this point on like Republicans and how they've been dealing with sex and drugs and how we need to get back to the 50s and all of that. And the reality is that at this point, the sex and the drugs, and that's a metaphor for whatever. Pick your poison, right? Porn, whatever that means to you. Um, that's the only thing keeping a lot of people going to work at this point, buddy. It seems so bizarre that there's even an audience for these people anymore. What do you expect? What do you expect? I think what bothers me about that, by the way, this is not what I'm talking about today, but just as a side, just a meander, if you will. I think that what bothers me about that is how willing these people are to just spend hour after hour after hour after hour of their life just wasting it, just wasting it. Interview after interview after interview with people who don't deserve it, who shouldn't be talked to. And these are people who, their whole job, the entire concept of their job is that of the intellect, that of the mind, that of philosophy. And they get paid huge amounts of money to do it. And it's so obvious that they don't care. Because like if I was in that position, at the very least those interviews would be so much more aggressive than these people are willing to go after their guests for. But Let's get back on track. Everyone's tired. Everyone's tired. I am. And here we are going into another war. We're at war with Iran. It finally happened. Started from the bottom, now we're here. What a crazy thing. It really is the season of suicide, isn't it? There is a truly bizarre, mad rush to suicide right now in this country. And I'm seeing it everywhere. And that's also exhausting. And by the way, I mean, this is another sort of sidetrack on that issue, but there are a shocking number of people who will tell you that that nothing should affect you. This is how I was raised. I was raised with the belief that nothing should affect you ever. That there's nothing about what anybody else does that's any of your business. And I think that what we've learned the hard way at this point is that that's not true. That's true in short bursts. And it's only ever true in short bursts. That is not true in the long term, ever. And it never has been. We are a social creature. We are. What happens to somebody else, especially in our umbrella, matters to us. It affects us. It changes us. This is why it's very important, if you can, be very careful who your friends are and who you surround yourself with. Because you can only withstand the negativity for so long. It will begin to affect you. Yes. So this idea that like we were never supposed to be affected by the world's ongoings is so stupid. So childish. And you got to wonder, like, who are these people? Like, who are these people teaching us this stuff? What the hell is going on? Who are these people saying these inhuman things to us? With total confidence. Total confidence. You know, you hear that a lot in like the sort of therapy language. Nobody has your permission to make you angry. That's like the big line. Nobody has your permission to make you angry until you give them permission to make you angry. And to a certain extent, they're right about that, up to a point. But that doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. Especially if you care about them. And that's really what this comes down to. This therapization of this country, what a lot of it comes down to is like self-isolation. Self-isolation, self-isolate, 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 self-isolate. And then we're shocked when all the values go upside down. You don't get to do that forever. You don't get to do any of this forever. We're done. We're tired. I remember when we went into Afghanistan and Iraq, how hyped everybody was. I mean, we were pumped up. We were so pumped. People start buying Humvees because we're at war, baby. And we're going to kill these people. We are going to hurt these people. We're going to destroy them. We're going to get in there and we're going to blow them out of everything. We are going to wipe them out of existence for what they did to us. There was an energy back then. There is not now. For Trump not to be able to read the room at this point is stunning to me. It's stunning. Because the thing is, like, say what you will about Trump. The one thing that you can say about this guy is that he could read the room. And he did. He could. This was a guy who could, I mean, he just, what a performer. And that's what comes with performing. You know, anybody who was like a theater kid can tell you, like, you start to learn to read rooms well outside of the theater. You can feel, you know, you become sort of empathic that way. And not only has Trump failed to do that, it's to a point that you have to start asking questions about what really is going on behind the scenes now. because this doesn't even seem like the Trump that we ever saw. Whether you hate him or love him, this doesn't seem like him at all. So the question is, who's really pulling the strings? Is someone allowing him to live, and he's just he's kind of doing what he can do? I wonder. I wonder. I don't have an opinion on that yet, but I wonder. And this administration has been so blackpilling for that reason, because it's becoming very clear now that there's really nothing. I hate even saying this. There's really nothing we can do. There's nothing that we can do. We cannot vote our way out of this, and that means something far worse. And we're screwed. I mean, the thing is, after this, after Iran, it's all downhill. There's no coming back from this. I just don't see it. I would love to be wrong. I want to be wrong so bad, because this is giving me such unbelievable anxiety. But I don't think we're coming back from this. And the reason is that we're going to lose all of our credibility on the world stage. We will lose this war if things are going the way that they are going now, and they continue on that trajectory. We're done. We're done. There's a lot of cope right now about how heroic we're being and how amazing this all is. Look at what we did. We gotta, someone shot down our fighter jet. That's what happened. We sent fighter jets into a place, and for the first time in like quite a while, a big, standardized, situated nation shot it down. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying this for a really long time. But our military is not what we think it is. I'm not saying that it's not the best in the world. It is the best in the world. By a long shot. By a long shot. Mostly, I mean, frankly, from what I've seen, mostly due to technology. We've got unbelievable technology. And that's great for us in the short run. But we haven't been up against a real enemy in a long time. In a long time. Our guys are going in to desert villages with night vision and silenced weapons and Black Hawks in the middle of the night, 3 a.m, when everybody's sleeping. They hoof it to some location. They bust into somebody's home. It's some dirt farmer, some shepherd with an unzeroed AK, and we blast everybody in there to smithereens. And we got a really, really big head doing that. We're Goliath. We're going around with this giant club and just beating everybody to death with it because we were the best. We were the most organized. And it's not just that we got a big head about it, right? What happened is that we not only got a big head about our military capabilities that way, we forgot about why we have it, right? We sort of inverted the pyramid, because originally the concept of our military was that we had, and I don't mean, like, originally is a relative term here, but especially during like the global war on terror, what we started out doing was using our regular ground forces, and then over time there was this sort of creep of special forces being used, these very specific units being used over and over and over and over again, and we became sort of we started using them as a scalpel, and then we started using the scalpel as a bludgeon. And I actually know a guy who used to be in LAPD SWAT, and his major complaint, his number one complaint about the way that everybody does stuff now is that we overuse our special forces units, even from the perspective of like a municipality like Los Angeles. What's happening in LA is every single time that there's a guy with a gun, they call out SWAT. Or at least it feels that way. And it seems like that's what we started doing. And I think you would agree with this, probably around like I feel like it was like around Iraq, 2003-ish, 2004-ish, where that process started inverting, where like we used to use the army, the military. And then special forces was exactly that. Special forces just meant that like there was a specialized group of people that could do some specialized things, but that didn't mean like that they were the whole thing by a long shot. And that's what it feels like we're doing now. That gives us a big head because you know that takes quite a bit of, you know, there's a warrior ethos in play at that point that you don't necessarily have with like regular infantry guys. Don't get me wrong, there is. I know. I understand that there absolutely is a warrior ethos amongst like the rank and file, of course. But there's a certain when I'm talking to an infantry guy, somebody who was like, you know, hoofing equipment around the desert, there's a certain humility about it. There's a certain sense that, like, you're a part of a greater function, and you're this very small part of this greater function. And the problem with, like, special forces warrior ethos was that it became narcissistic very quickly. Maybe it always was. I don't know. You know what's funny is I was getting sent stuff from like old Vietnam special forces veterans, like podcasts and stuff like that, and it's just a different group of people. It's a completely different group of people. They have that same humility that I like to see. You know, the quiet professionals, right? The quiet professionals. And you don't see that. You don't see that with these modern special forces guys who just, man, their chests are out and they are being beaten hard. Me. We did this and we did that and I did this and I'm amazing and I can't believe how amazing I am, dude. And that's that attitude creates this real over the top hubris in military circles. It really does. And you can see it. Even the way that like people at the bottom of the pyramid talk now. If they were in it, they don't talk like this. But if you were like stateside during the global war on terror, the amount of people rah-rahing war and the military and what we can do as if it's a sports ball game, as if it's NFL time. Oh man, did you see the game last night, bro? Did you see that pass we made? Bro, what are we doing? What is this? We're $36 trillion in debt. Last time I checked. Maybe it's less now because it's tax season. I think, I'm pretty sure it was $36 trillion in debt last time I checked. And by the way, here's something weird that like nobody talks about. I was checking the debt last year, late last year, I guess I should say, 2025-ish. Around September, October. I'm almost positive the debt was at like $24 trillion. It was still in the 20s. And all of a sudden, seemingly overnight, there was a jump that happened from like 24 to 36. And nobody talked about it. Even if the debt had jumped like 2 trillion, you know, that's still a lot of money to jump in like a 2-week period. I think there may have been like a 2-week period where I didn't check. Checked back in, and suddenly it was 36. But like I say, we're all so tired. We're all so tired. It's stunning to me how many places around here, as you guys know, I'm in the LA area, close down. It closes down early. Bars used to close at about 2 a.m. And I understand, like, there are some places that still do, if you go to West Hollywood, the gay bars are still open at 2 a.m. and stuff like that. There's certain areas where you'll get that. But I mean, if you were a bar, just in general, you just stayed open until 2 a.m. Like, it wasn't even like it wasn't a question. And now places are shutting down. They're doing less business. That's what I'm seeing. They're doing way less business. Places that used to be jumping, places I used to not go to on the weekend, I can go to now because there's nobody in there. And these are like the quality didn't go down. That's not the problem. Quality's fine. Quality's still there. But everybody's gone. Maybe that's LA. I don't think so. I don't think it is just LA. I think a lot of places, a lot of places are pinching pennies just to stay alive, and we're exhausted by it. We did not used to do this, by the way. For those of you who are younger and don't know what the world was like not that long ago, there was a sense that like money just kind of happened. That if you were doing the right stuff with your day, that money came. And a lot of people weren't that worried about it. And we're talking about people who own businesses. They started businesses without too much trouble. They got loans without too much trouble. They didn't worry about the loans that much. Certainly not now. The property prices were nothing. They're nothing compared to now. It's madness, and everything's getting turned up. It's not just it's not just rent. It's not just that the rent is too damn high. Now electricity is coming for you. I don't know how we're supposed to survive all this because people are giving up, man. They're giving up. That's what is not being discussed enough. People are done. They're done. We're burned. We're so burned. Kids are coming out of school burned out. What are we doing? What is the purpose of this? Why would we do this to ourselves? Honest to God, who thinks this is a good idea? Raise your hand. We put kids in school, burn them out. By the time they're 18, 19, they have a brief respite during college where they just bang each other's brains out and just get loaded all the time. And of course, people aren't even doing that now. That's that's gone. People hate each other now. That's another problem. Now the genders truly despise each other. And I don't know who to blame for that either, because the reality is that in theory, I know both sides are to blame for this. Honestly, I could give a rant both about men and women at this point. I am deeply unimpressed with both sides. But who do you get mad at when we have an education system that's built to destroy everything? We're getting our kids, we're putting them through a meat grinder on the basis, by the way, that it's going to make them better, that it'll make their futures better. Then they get out of college and there are no jobs because we're importing everybody. We're importing the entire world to replace them. What is the purpose of this if not Satanism? And I mean, you know what? This was going to be a separate video, but maybe it still will be. But I think I'm gonna say this now. It's time for us to start considering that all of this is on purpose. It's time. It's time to stop being afraid about being called a conspiracy theorist. I know there's technically no evidence. There is technically no evidence that all of the things that I've been saying for the past, half hour or so are on purpose, but I don't know how else to explain this. None of it makes sense, that's for sure. None of it makes sense otherwise. I guess that's how I would put it. How else do you explain this? There's a process at work here. And like, whoever you want to blame, men, women, the Jews, aliens, a lot of people are going back to aliens, demons, pedophile Satanists, whoever you want to blame, can we all at least finally agree that something is wrong and it's all on purpose? And this is my challenge to you. This is my challenge to you, if you're listening to this. If you're as exhausted as I am, because not everybody is. Some people are going to listen to this and they're going to go like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? And for those people, like, good for you, honestly. Those people are out there. I know them. They're doing fine and everything. Like, life just keeps coming up roses for them. I'm not mad at them at all for that. That's amazing, and I think it's actually divine. I think it's divinely inspired. I think some people were meant to, they were meant to do certain things in life, and that God sort of sets them up on that path. And it's a primrose path because it's God's path. And that's awesome. I'm really happy for those people, unironically. But for the rest of us, here's my challenge to you. If things are continually going wrong, if stuff is constantly being sabotaged in your life, it's time to start asking, is this on purpose? Because I think it takes too many people too long to start asking that question. I didn't really start asking that question until a couple of years ago, and I'm too old for this to just be dawning on me now. But I really didn't believe it. I did not believe that this stuff was on purpose. I used to get into like arguments with people about that because there were people who were trying to tell me. There were people who were like, I think someone's doing this to you. And I'd go, no. I'd explain it to them, and I do a damn good job of it because I'm good at that. And I could explain to them, listen, this is not on purpose. This is an accident of human nature. This happens because of this. This happens because of this psychological eventuality, and that happens because of that psychological eventuality. And we're all just we're victims here. We're just victims of the world. Well, here's my challenge to you, because this is the realization I've come to. It's time for you, if everything is going wrong in your life, if you can't get lift in your wings, you got to start asking yourself, is this on purpose? Am I being sabotaged? And this is the really uncomfortable part. This is the part that's going to be uncomfortable for almost everybody. It's time for us to start asking, is this the devil? You got to believe me that when I started this channel, when I, small as it is, and inconsistent as it is, I did not believe that the devil was some major actor in our lives. Honestly, didn't think so. Did not think so at all. Most of my life, as a matter of fact, I believed truly that the devil was a metaphor for human evil. That's what I believed. I do not believe that anymore. It's not true. That's not true. He's real. And it's time to start asking ourselves what the hell is going on. There's too much bad. There's too much bad. And honestly, if you haven't turned off this video by now, um, the likelihood is that it's because a lot of the things that I've been saying make sense to you. You're experiencing them as well. And it's tough. I know. It's tough. It's weird. If you don't believe it, it's creepy. It's weird and dumb, and you just wanna throw away the whole idea. Don't. I'm telling you right now. Don't. What else explains the level of suicide that we're seeing? And I don't even mean that literally. I don't mean people obliterating themselves from the face of the earth. I mean like the self-sabotage we're in. The spiral that we're in is supernatural. Is it not? Are we going to pretend like it's not beyond nature at this point? Nobody even seems like it's we've actually gotten to a point where nobody can even really care about the bigger questions. And yet we can't stop talking about politics amongst ourselves. We can't really do anything about any of it, but we're all complaining about it. We're all, did you hear about what happened the other day in Washington D.C.? Here's my next challenge to you. If you didn't like the first one, so fine, no problem. But here's one you can actually do for real. If you don't believe in the devil, at least you can do this one. It's time to start asking yourself, where are my priorities in life? Do I really need to know what's going on in Iran when my life is such a mess? Is your life going well? I had to give the speech to someone recently, who just, I mean, our lives are, and I mean, I'm talking personally now. Our lives are a mess, and this person was started trying to get my opinion on Iran, and I had to stop her and say, your life is a shambles. It really is. It's an embarrassment. Your family is an embarrassment. We are an embarrassment. And it's because nobody will do what's necessary right now to not be an embarrassment. How do you have energy for the news? Do you have energy for the news? Do you? Do you really get to do that? If your family is in the dump, if it's just a dumpster fire, you need to stop watching the news and you need to stop worrying about what's going on in your state and start fixing your family. You need to spend some quality time and sit down with people and start talking about what you guys are really going through and what everybody feels and how best to situate the household so that there's a natural flow of energy. There are so many people who don't do that now. It's stunning. The amount of divorce, the amount of suicide, literal and figurative, is stunning to me. I'm seeing it everywhere. And it feels like new families are being formed just so that people can destroy them. It's crazy. I have never seen this level of narcissism and decrepitude in my entire life. And don't get me wrong, I had a bad childhood, so I have a pretty tilted view of the world from that perspective. But honestly, I didn't used to see it in other people like this. Not this often, and just not this much. Something's wrong, guys. Something's desperately wrong. And it's time to start asking ourselves, is this on purpose? And what can I do in my own life to fix me today? Because I'm tired. Like, just to fix the tiredness. And I'll give you a hint. Here's the thing that you have to really look for. This is something that really has helped me. You have to start looking for dead wood in your life and in your soul. You have to figure out what the conceits are. And then you have to jettison them. You have to burn them away. Because those conceits are pulling you in 7, 8 different directions. And it's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's stupid. It's stupid. The likelihood is that those conceits have been, in a sense, instilled in you by somebody else, whether it was the education system or your family. And what I'm telling you right now, look for the cobwebs in your soul. Look and brush them out. You know, if there's so many of us who just, we have this idea of what we should be based on total conceit. I should be a great leader, but it kills me to get in front of people and speak in public. Well, okay. That's a problem, yes? That's a problem. We were trained from a very early age, I have to say, not to go with our instincts, not to do what we want to do, but rather to be what somebody else thinks that we could be. And I know I'm like this, and then I know other people who are like this, where for some reason we were lied to our whole lives about like who we were really. Somebody told us what we were from a very early age, and then we tried to be that thing and inevitably failed. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre thing, because I don't know where they, like, maybe they saw something in me, some particular trait that made them hope, like, maybe I don't know, maybe they could attach their themselves to my coattails or something like that, or maybe they really did have some kind of hope that, like, if this guy was this, or if this girl was this, they could really be something and they could make a better future. Maybe they'll save me. I don't know. I don't know what it all comes down to, but that happened to a lot of people from a very early age. And we have to fix this. We got to fix this. There are so many people desperately trying to be CEOs right now. And the question is, like, are you a CEO or are you a janitor? Would you be happy as a janitor? Are you a CEO? Are you in C-suite? The people in C-suite don't even want to be in C-suite. Do you have any idea how much Pepto-Bismol and cancer treatments those people get? At what cost? And then we wonder how we got so tired.